Welcome to the Shadow of History channel. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out more videos like this one. When World War II finally ended in 1945, a soldier returned home to embrace his daughter, capturing a moment of pure joy and relief that symbolized hope for millions of families reunited after years of devastating separation. Ilo Badagelli's haunting 1948 photograph titled Mother's Eyes reveals the profound depth of a Bedouin, mother's gaze reflecting centuries of wisdom, resilience, and unconditional love through her weathered features and penetrating stare. Armenian fin swimmer Shavash Karapetyan, a 10-time world record holder, became a true hero when he dove repeatedly into Yerevan Lake's freezing waters to rescue 20 passengers from a trolley bus that plunged off a bridge. In Venice's iconic St. Mark's Square during the 1960s, Coca-Cola created an ingenious advertisement by strategically spreading grain that drew hundreds of pigeons into forming their famous logo for passing photographers. A Canadian police officer stands waist-deep in floodwaters protecting a pharmacy in Galt, Ontario during the devastating 1974 floods, demonstrating remarkable dedication to duty despite the dangerous and uncomfortable conditions surrounding him. During August 1969's Battle of the Bogside in Derry, a young boy prepared Molotov cocktails on a rooftop, his innocent face contrasting sharply with the deadly weapons representing the tragic reality of children caught in conflict. Deep within a cave near Cheddar, England, archaeologists discovered a 9,000-year-old skeleton they affectionately nicknamed Cheddar Man, providing invaluable insights into ancient Britain's earliest inhabitants and their mysterious lives. Two brilliant minds of the 20th century, Robert Oppenheimer and Albert Einstein, stand together at Princeton's Institute for Advanced Study in 1947, forever changing humanity's understanding of physics and the universe itself. During the 1940s, a housewife braves winter's bitter cold to retrieve frozen Long Johns from her washing line, demonstrating the everyday hardships and resilience required during wartime rationing and harsh weather. Sophia Loren's captivating beauty shines through in this circa 1955 photograph, taken during her rise to international stardom before she became one of cinema's most celebrated and enduring Italian actresses. Standing atop the Great Pyramid of Giza's ancient peak in Egypt offers a breathtaking perspective of these magnificent structures, revealing the incredible engineering achievements of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. Camberly Kate devoted her entire life to England's forgotten strays in 1962, never once turning away a dog in need and providing loving care for over 600 abandoned animals throughout her remarkable lifetime. This mirror portrait, captured in Japan 100 years ago, demonstrates early photography's creative techniques, showing how innovative photographers experimented with reflections to create visually striking and technically challenging self-portraits. In 1925, a thoughtful officer halted all traffic to allow a mother-cat safe passage across the busy street while she carefully carried her precious kitten to safety in her gentle mouth. A settler family stands proudly on the vast American prairie. During the 1880s, their weathered faces and simple clothing revealing the harsh realities and incredible determination of pioneer life in the frontier. The same remarkable woman poses with the same cherished motorcycle 72 years later, demonstrating how time transforms us, while our precious memories and treasured possessions remain constant throughout our entire lives. In 1922, a man experiences the revolutionary wonder of hearing recorded music on a record player, for possibly the first time his expression capturing the amazement this groundbreaking technology brought to society. Progressive high school girls learned auto mechanics in 1927, challenging traditional gender roles and proving that young women deserved equal opportunities to develop practical skills once reserved exclusively for their male counterparts. This remote control from the 1970s appears enormous and primitive by today's standards, yet it represented cutting-edge technology that revolutionized how families interacted with their televisions at home each evening. 19-year-old David Isom courageously broke Florida's segregated pool color line on June 8, 1958, prompting racist officials to close the entire facility rather than allow integrated swimming for all citizens. Two distinguished gentlemen from the early 1900s pose formally for their portrait, their elaborate clothing and stern expressions reflecting the strict social conventions and photographic customs of their Victorian-influenced era. A woman and her loyal dog share their modest one-room house in Texas during 1938's Great Depression, demonstrating the poverty and simplicity many Americans endured while maintaining dignity and companionship. In 1945, Okinawa Marine First Lieutenant Hart H. Spiegel attempts communicating through sign language with two captured Japanese soldiers, boys claiming 18 and 20 years, illustrating war's devastating impact on youth. Gertrude Ederle covered herself with petroleum and lard in 1926 before swimming across the English Channel in 14 hours 34 minutes, becoming the first woman to complete this grueling feat nearly 2 hours faster than any man before her. Arnold Genthy's powerful 1906 photograph captures people watching helplessly as massive fires consume San Francisco following the catastrophic earthquake that devastated the city and changed California's history forever. Behind the scenes during 1974's filming of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cast and crew created one of horror cinema's most disturbing and influential films that would terrify audiences for generations to come. Around 1880 in England, workers operated a human-powered tractor with massive dreadnought wheels to transport incredibly heavy stones across construction sites, demonstrating the backbreaking labor required before modern machinery existed. Migrants travel through North Carolina. In July 1940, their belongings packed tightly, seeking better opportunities during America's difficult transition from the Great Depression toward wartime economic recovery and uncertain futures ahead. A Welsh woman tenderly washes her mine-working husband in 1931, demonstrating the daily rituals coal mining families endured as wives removed layers of coal dust from their exhausted husbands after dangerous shifts. Miss Vivian Bales, a fearless adventurer from Albany, Georgia, rode her beloved 1929 Harley-Davidson Model D across thousands of North American miles during Prohibition, defying all conventional expectations for women of her era. Army Nurse Second Lieutenant Roberta Steele, just 23 years old, served in Quy Nhon, South Vietnam during 1966, having volunteered like all nurses who courageously chose to heal wounded soldiers in that war. Men in Montana advertised desperately for wives around 1901, holding handwritten signs that revealed the loneliness and gender imbalance plaguing America's remote frontier towns during the westward expansion's final years. During the 1930s, a young boy and his faithful dog share an infectious moment of laughter together, their pure joy and innocent companionship providing a heartwarming contrast to that decade's hardships. This sharper photograph from 1877 shows Billy the Kid, the legendary outlaw, in one of history's most iconic images, capturing the young gunslinger before his violent death at just 21 years old. Jack Bonavita, an esteemed circus lion tamer, poses confidently with his powerful lions in turn-of-the-century New York, though ironically, a polar bear, not a lion, would ultimately kill him in 1917. Princess Grace of Monaco visits President John F. Kennedy at the White House on May 24, 1961, bringing together Hollywood glamour, European royalty, and American political power in one elegant encounter. A Native American mother cradles her child in 1902, their bond captured in a moment of quiet strength that transcends time, reminding us of the enduring love that connects generations across cultures and histories. Long before comedy stardom, a teenage Will Ferrell posed for his high school portrait in 1986, his youthful expression hinting at none of the wild humor that would one day make him a household name. Lyudmila Pavlichenko peers through her rifle scope from a Soviet trench in 1942, earning the fearsome nickname Lady Death, with 309 confirmed kills that made her history's deadliest female sniper. An unemployed lumber worker stands beside his wife in Oregon during 1939, their worn faces and weathered hands telling Dorothea Lange's camera a story of hardship that defined an entire generation's struggle. Grant Park's sprawling parking lot stretches across Chicago. Sometime in the 1930s, a sea of vintage automobiles parked in neat rows that seems almost quaint compared to today's concrete jungles. A curious little girl stands thoughtfully beside a signpost at Bodø Airport in Norway during 1968, her innocent gaze capturing a fleeting moment of childhood wonder against the backdrop of modern travel. Wembley Stadium overflows with passionate supporters during the 1938 FA Cup final as Preston North End battles Huddersfield Town, ultimately claiming victory with a single goal in extra time that sparked thunderous celebration. Determined cyclists prepare for battle at the starting line of the 56th Giro d'Italia race in 1973, their lean bodies and focused expressions revealing the grueling challenge that awaits them across Italy's mountains. A towering telephone pole bristles with countless wires in Pratt, Kansas around 1911, its tangled web of communication lines creating an almost artistic chaos above the prairie town's dusty streets. Before becoming James Bond, a young Sean Connery flexed his impressive physique as a bodybuilder. In the early 1950s, his muscular frame and confident stance foreshadowing the screen presence that would define cinema. Chaos erupts on a Havana street in 1959 as a policeman and rebel exchange gunfire during the Cuban Revolution's violent final days, their desperate confrontation symbolizing a nation's explosive transformation. An American soldier tenderly feeds a Filipino infant in November 1944 on Leyte Island, the child's face bearing terrible bayonet wounds inflicted by retreating Japanese troops during the brutal Battle of Leyte. 18-year-old inventor H. Day demonstrates his ingenious wireless headphones concealed beneath his hat in 1922. This quirky innovation representing humanity's eternal desire to merge technology seamlessly with everyday life. Actress and singer Pearl Bailey shares a tender moment with her husband, drummer Louis Bellson, on a park bench in 1957. Their relaxed postures and genuine smiles revealing a love that transcended show business. The massive Mingun Bell towers over visitors in Myanmar around 1873. Its 90 tons of bronze cast between 1808 and 1810, making it the world's largest ringing bell for nearly 2 centuries. Victorian mountaineers, including one remarkably brave woman, carefully navigate a treacherous crevasse in the Alps around 1900, their elaborate period clothing making this dangerous alpine crossing seem almost impossibly daring. Swimming legend Duke Kahanamoku poses proudly with Franklin and John Roosevelt, sons of the president, in Waikiki during 1934, this meeting of surfing pioneer and political dynasty capturing Hawaii's unique cultural crossroads. An American family gathers proudly before their modest home in the early 1900s, their formal poses and Sunday-best clothing revealing how special this photographic moment truly was for them. A Chinese man concentrates on his simple bowl of rice between 1901 and 1904, Walter Chandaha's photograph, preserving an everyday moment that speaks volumes about daily life in a rapidly changing world. A migrant farm worker stands surrounded by his wife and all 10 children in 1936, their worn clothing and tired faces documenting the crushing poverty that Depression-era families endured while chasing agricultural work. Passengers crowd together on New York City's #1 train during the sweltering summer of 1981. The gritty subway car capturing an era when the city's underground system embodied urban decay and danger. Director Alfred Hitchcock plays the perfect gentleman while serving Grace Kelly, a tea on the To Catch a Thief set in 1955. This charming behind-the-scenes moment revealing the master of suspense's surprisingly gracious side. John DuPont, wealthy heir and philanthropist, poses with Olympic wrestler Dave Schultz at the Foxcatcher Training Center in early 1990s Pennsylvania, their friendly appearance masking the tragic murder that would eventually shock the nation. Naval architect William Francis Gibbs gazes proudly across the water at the SS United States in 1952, his magnificent creation becoming America's largest and fastest ocean liner capable of steaming 10,000 miles non-stop. A feisty kitten attacks its own mirrored reflection with tiny claws fully extended in 1964, Walter Chandaha's delightful photograph capturing that universal moment when young animals first discover their confusing twin. Amateur German pilot Matthias Rust stands casually beside his Cessna 172 near Moscow's Red Square in 1987, his colorful overalls and calm expression belying the audacious illegal flight that embarrassed Soviet air defenses. Edward S. Curtis photographed this eagle catcher around 1908, the hunter's traditional methods and focused determination preserving ancient practices that connected indigenous peoples with nature's most powerful predators. Cuban revolutionary leader Fidel Castro lays a wreath at the Lincoln Memorial during his 1959 visit to the United States. This symbolic gesture occurring before Cold War tensions would forever sever diplomatic relations. Judy Garland shares a precious moment with her young daughter Liza Minnelli in 1947, neither suspecting that the child would eventually match her mother's legendary talent and become a star herself. A teenager enjoys her bedtime snack of cola and Cheez-Its in Des Moines, Iowa during 1945, this simple ritual capturing the return of normalcy as America celebrated war's end with small comforts. German artist Hans Hemmert's 1997 Same-Height Party featured guests wearing custom platform shoes that elevated everyone to exactly 2 meters tall, transforming ordinary social interaction into thought-provoking performance art. An IBM training manual from 1979 sits preserved like an artifact, its retro design and outdated technology offering a fascinating glimpse into computing's early corporate days when machines filled entire rooms. Ann Hodges of Alabama became the only person ever struck by a meteorite when a grapefruit-sized space rock crashed through her roof. In 1954, bounced off her radio and hit her side, leaving her bruised but miraculously alive. Romanian citizens endure endless queues for scarce food supplies during communism's final years in the late 1980s, their patience and desperation revealing the system's complete failure to provide basic necessities. Chrysler's Highway Hi-Fi offered drivers a remarkable car record player system from 1956 to 1959. though the impractical device proved too fragile for bumpy roads and quickly became an amusing automotive footnote. An exhausted American pilot stares blankly after completing a grueling 7-hour bombing mission over Germany around 1944, his haunted expression revealing the psychological toll of repeatedly facing death at 30,000 feet. Dr. W. H. Chase displays his enormous Alaskan brown bear hide stretched across a Cordova building in May 1919, the massive brute taken on nearby Hinchinbrook Island, representing the frontier's last great hunting adventures. A French soldier manages a weary smile from his muddy trench in 1916 during World War I, his forced cheerfulness masking the horror and misery that defined existence in these wretched earthen graves. Two impeccably dressed gentlemen pose with their equally dapper dog on a Stockholm street around the 1880s, their elegant attire and proud bearing capturing Victorian society's obsession with proper appearance. The Pulsar wristwatch combined computer and calculator functions in 1975. Its futuristic red LED display and clunky design representing early attempts to merge personal computing with everyday accessories before smartphones existed. Niagara Falls stands eerily dry in 1969 after engineers temporarily diverted the American Falls for geological study, revealing the rocky canyon floor that billions of gallons of water had concealed for millennia. A low-income family's sparse home near Cincinnati, Ohio, appears in this December 1935 photograph, the bare walls and minimal furnishings documenting the Great Depression's crushing poverty that left millions destitute. Adventurous youngsters grip a car's rear bumper as it pulls them along snowy streets in Scheveningen, Netherlands during the possibly 1930s, this dangerous winter fun representing childhood before modern safety concerns. Desperate Italians queue for bread in 1943 as World War II brings starvation to their cities. George Rogers' powerful photograph capturing the human suffering that war inflicts far beyond battlefields. A brave child with polio practices walking inside parallel bars at Sudbury General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center in Canada during 1953, this difficult therapy representing medical innovation that would eventually conquer the devastating disease. Nothing matches the futuristic interior dashboard of a 1985 Nissan 300ZX, its angular digital displays and sleek design, capturing the 1980s automotive industry's obsession with electronic, on gadgetry, and space-age aesthetics. American astronaut Eugene Cernan left the last human footprints on the lunar surface during Apollo 17 in 1972, his departure ending mankind's brief moonwalking era that remains unmatched 5 decades later. A child sits secured in a simple early car seat during the 1940s, the basic straps and minimal padding revealing how little parents understood about crash safety before modern engineering saved countless lives. After Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 crashed in the Andes during 1972, only 16 of 45 passengers survived 72 days of freezing temperatures, avalanches, starvation, and the desperate cannibalism that kept them alive. Hiroshima's devastated landscape appears in March 1946, the flattened city bearing witness to the atomic bomb's terrible destructive power that instantly vaporized everything and everyone in its fiery radius just months earlier. A stylish moment unfolds on New York City streets in 1975 as Joel Meyerowitz captures the casual elegance and confident stride that defined urban life during that gritty yet glamorous decade. Passenger Brian Sweeney left this heartbreaking voicemail from United Airlines Flight 175 about 3 minutes before terrorists crashed it into the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. His final words preserving love amid horror. A 1950s housewife beams beside her modern electric appliances while preparing to cook this idealized domestic scene, representing post-war America's celebration of consumer convenience and traditional gender roles. Nellie and Annie Lyons were born in 1901 and 1895 to London street hawkers, becoming two of only 5 siblings who survived into adulthood from their family of 10 children raised in brutal poverty. John Lennon and Yoko Ono wait for hotel maids to make their bed during their famous 1969 protest, the ironic luxury of their anti-establishment demonstration not escaping critics who question their revolutionary credentials. This nostalgic snapshot captures teenagers chilling on a back deck during 2002 senior year, the carefree moment, now seeming impossibly distant from today's smartphone-dominated world that existed just 24 years ago. This inflammatory flyer circulated through Dallas on the very day that President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, its accusations and hostile tone reflecting the dangerous political extremism that poisoned American discourse. Margaret Hamilton stands beside the towering stack of software code she led her team to write for the Apollo guidance computer during the 1960s, her pioneering work making lunar landings possible. Art Rothschild poses atop his remarkable 4-man bicycle in 1948, the contraption powered by 5 chains with brakes on both wheels, proving so difficult to master that he broke 3 ribs learning to ride it. Diana Rigg and Helen Mirren share the stage in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. During 1968, 2 future acting legends at the beginning of careers that would eventually earn them damehoods and international acclaim. These wildly colorful shell suits from the 1980s were a fashion phenomenon that looked absolutely stunning until someone realized they were practically a walking fire hazard waiting to happen. Inside a Chicago courtroom in 1948, a desperate husband pleads for forgiveness at divorce court, capturing a raw moment of vulnerability that reveals the deeply personal struggles hidden behind closed doors. Standing beside a telephone pole in California's San Joaquin Valley, a U.S. Geological Survey scientist marks surface elevations from 1925, 1955, and 1977, documenting the dramatic ground subsidence caused by relentless groundwater extraction. American nurses step onto the beaches of Normandy, France in 1944, bringing hope and healing to the front lines, where courage and compassion became the most powerful weapons of war. The haunting mushroom cloud rises over Nevada's test site on March 29, 1955, as a nuclear bomb detonates during atmospheric testing that would forever change our understanding of destructive power. Assembly line workers at Zenith Electronics in Chicago meticulously craft televisions in 1951, building the devices that would soon transform American living rooms into windows to the wider world. An Irish family gathers around their simple meal of potatoes and milk in 1917, representing the humble sustenance that defined daily life for countless families during these challenging times. A teenage bedroom from 1977 perfectly captures the era, with carefully arranged dolls and a Sean Cassidy poster adorning the wall, preserving the dreams and obsessions of that generation. Harlem pulses with life in this 1971 photograph by Jack Garofalo, freezing a moment in New York when the neighborhood's vibrant culture and resilient spirit defined an unforgettable era. During the Battle of the Bulge in Luxembourg, 1944, a U.S. soldier pauses to shake hands with a loyal dog, reminding us that even war cannot extinguish simple acts of kindness. Dimitris Harisiadis captures the timeless atmosphere of a traditional cafe in Agia Galini, Crete in 1957, where Greek men gathered to share stories, coffee, and the unhurried rhythm of island life. Children swarm an early 1900s playground in Chicago, their joy captured in motion as they experience the simple thrill of play equipment that defined childhood before screens took over. This is how families rolled through the 1970s with kids piled into the back of station wagons without seatbelts, enjoying a carefree ride that would horrify modern safety standards. A U.S. Army lieutenant launches a flaming arrow toward a bamboo hut in Vietnam 1967, employing an ancient weapon in a modern war that blurred all boundaries between past and present. B-29 Superfortress bombers from the USAF's 19th Bombardment Group soar past Mount Fuji in 1945, approaching Tokyo on a mission that brought World War II closer to its devastating conclusion. Chernobyl cleanup workers face unimaginable radiation. In 1986, their sacrifice documented in photographs where the film itself bears haunting streaks, silent testimony to the invisible danger surrounding them. East German. Apartment blocks rise beneath a massive portrait of leader Erich Honecker in 1975, a stark image by Thomas Hupker showing how ideology literally loomed over everyday life. This was how they transported airmail back in 1912, with pilots braving open cockpits and unpredictable weather to deliver letters that connected a world still learning to fly. The Sony Discman from 2001 now rests in a museum, once used by ancient teenagers to listen to Linkin Park and pretend life was impossibly hard between algebra classes. Before internet or food apps existed in the 1990s and 2000s, these legendary workers would take your order, navigate by paper map, and deliver hot pizza to your home in under 30 minutes, like mythical pizza pirates. This device was the 1980s. I smartwatch, a chunky calculator timepiece that made you feel like a secret agent, even though it could barely tell time and do basic math. One of the very last lifeboats from the Titanic rose, desperately toward the rescue ship Carpathia, in 1912, carrying survivors away from the unthinkable tragedy that claimed 1,500 souls. German soldiers confront footage of concentration camps in 1945, their faces revealing the shock and horror as Allied forces presented undeniable evidence of crimes committed in their nation's name. Often called the Meteor, this massive fused block of steel and concrete was recovered from the World Trade Center debris after September 11, 2001, containing remnants of 4 to 5 floors crushed into a single, haunting artifact of unimaginable force. Immigrants arrive at Ellis Island, New York around 1880, carrying their hopes and belongings across the ocean to a new world that promised freedom, but guaranteed nothing except opportunity. Pilot Victor Vizcarra is evacuated from a Vietnam jungle landing site in 1966 after ejecting from his flame-engulfed F-105 fighter bomber, which passed beneath his parachute before crashing into a mountain. Frank Sinatra's dressing room requests from the 1980s reveal the meticulous preferences of a legendary performer who knew exactly what he needed to deliver perfection every single night. These elegant mustache cups from Victorian-era Britain spanning 1837 to 1901 featured a special guard to protect a gentleman's carefully groomed facial hair while he enjoyed his tea. Leeds United footballer Jack Charlton casually smokes during a training session in August 1970, back when athletes thought nothing of lighting up between drills and matches without consequence. Ava Gardner poses with her first husband, Mickey Rooney, in the 1940s, capturing a glamorous Hollywood romance that burned bright and fast before both stars moved on to legendary careers. Cyclists share a cigarette during the grueling Tour de France in 1920, when endurance racing hadn't yet discovered that maybe smoking during competition wasn't the smartest performance strategy. Harrison Ford and Sean Connery share a moment on the set of Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade in 1989, two legendary actors playing father and son in cinema's greatest adventure. A wine cellar displays his traditional wineskins in Tbilisi, Georgia, around 1880, captured by photographer Dmitry Yermakov in a timeless image of ancient commerce still thriving in the modern era. Tourists peer out from the crown of the Statue of Liberty in New York City, 1947, experiencing the breathtaking view that has welcomed millions seeking the promise of American freedom. Inside the Table, Bluff Hotel and Saloon in Humboldt County, California, 1889 patrons gather at the bar where the Old West still lived in every whiskey pour and dusty boot. The typical family computer of the early 2000s dominated entire desks with its massive monitor tower and tangled cables, making today's sleek laptops look like science fiction in comparison. A lift. Operator stands ready in Gwangju, South Korea in 1984 when elevators required human attendants to press buttons and announce floors in a job technology would soon eliminate completely. Born on this day in 1916, Ludmila Pavlichenko would become the Soviet Union's most successful female sniper and a hero whose deadly precision during World War II earned legendary status. A nanny enjoys the innovative Dunkley Promoter. In 1923, a motorized attachment designed to effortlessly transport children around town without tiring, combining childcare practicality with mechanical ingenuity that was way ahead of its time. Courting in the 1800s never looked better than this, when romance required chaperoned visits, formal parlor conversations, and enough patience to make modern dating apps seem absolutely revolutionary by comparison. British Army veterans of the Crimean War posed together in 1856, weathered survivors of brutal combat who witnessed the charge of the Light Brigade and lived to tell impossible tales. The famous canals in Venice undergo their essential draining and cleaning in 1956, revealing the ancient foundations and accumulated centuries of history hidden beneath the romantic waterways tourists adore. Two German soldiers pose with their loyal mule in 1916, when even the mechanized horror of World War I still depended on animals to haul supplies through mud and devastation. A young couple poses for their marriage portrait in 1920s Mongolia, dressed in traditional finery that represents a culture balancing ancient nomadic traditions, on with the rapidly approaching modern world. Young Princess Elizabeth works as a mechanic during World War II, getting her hands dirty in military service and proving that even royalty could contribute to the war effort alongside ordinary citizens. An Oglala girl sits with her puppy in front of a teepee at Pine Ridge Reservation in 1891, a tender moment captured during a time when Native American ways of life faced relentless pressure from an encroaching world. Lumberjacks pose somewhere in Washington's vast forests between 1889 and 1891, rugged men who felled giant trees with axes and saws, building America one dangerous swing at a time. A second-hand furniture dealer stands among his wares in 1877, offering practical treasures to those who couldn't afford new, proving that recycling and reuse existed long before environmental movements made them fashionable. A Blackfoot chief experiences the wonder of being recorded on a phonograph in 1916, preserving his voice and stories through technology that must have seemed like capturing spirits in a mysterious box. When people scrapped metals to help the war effort in 1942, entire communities contributed pots, pans, and fences, transforming everyday household items into weapons that would help win World War II. Al Pacino embodies Don Michael Corleone in The Godfather Part II, 1974, delivering a chilling performance that showed how power corrupts even those who once refused to join the family business. Detroit, Michigan transforms dramatically between 1882 and 2011 too. Photographs revealing how a thriving industrial powerhouse became a cautionary tale of economic decline and urban abandonment that shocked America. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne posed together in 1985, the rock legend and his fierce manager wife, forming a partnership that survived chaos, addiction, and fame to become an unlikely symbol of enduring love. A happy chimpanzee holds a newspaper after surviving his historic trip to space in 1961, becoming an unlikely hero whose journey helped pave the way for human astronauts to follow into the stars. In 1943, the Marseille Roundup remains a chilling chapter of history, as French Jews were forced from their homes on January 24th, marking a somber journey into a dark and uncertain future for many. Deep within the dark earth in 1890, these weary miners symbolized the grit of a bygone era, laboring tirelessly down the mine, where every flickering light reveals the heavy toll of manual industrial work. Standing at Riverside Church on April 4, 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his powerful speech against the Vietnam War, challenging the nation to find its moral compass during a time of conflict. Dr. Mary Edwards Walker remains a legendary figure of the 1870s as a surgeon and former prisoner of war, eventually becoming the only woman to ever receive the prestigious Congressional Medal of Honor for Service. In the wake of the historic Apollo 11 launch on July 16, 1969, Dr. Wernher von Braun finally finds a moment to relax, knowing his vision of reaching the moon had successfully become reality. Under the glowing California stars in 1948, the San Francisco Drive-In Theater offered a magical escape where families gathered in their cars to enjoy the golden age of cinema on a massive outdoor screen. Captured in vivid detail in 19093, young Russian peasant women stand before their wooden home near the Shexna River, offering us a rare and colorful glimpse into traditional rural life before the revolution. Against the backdrop of the ancient sands in 1867, local Egyptian guides lead curious European tourists through the desert, bridging two very different worlds amidst the timeless grandeur of the Great Pyramids of Gizeh. Between takes on the set of Raintree County in 1956, Hollywood legends Elizabeth Taylor Montgomery Clift and Eva Marie Saint-Examined film prints showcasing the evolving technology and glamour of mid-century American cinema history. As the world sought a new path forward in 1919, Emir Faisal led his influential delegation through the Paris Peace Conference at Versailles, hoping to secure a sovereign future for the Arab people. In this formal portrait from 1865, Emperor Napoleon III stands with Empress Eugénie and their young son representing the final years of the French monarchy before the rise of the Third Republic changed everything. Amidst the chaos of World War I, the Australian army established a massive encampment right in front of the ancient pyramids of Gizeh, creating a striking contrast between modern warfare and ancient Egyptian history. On a cold September day in 1944, famed author Ernest Hemingway shares a moment with Colonel Buck Lanham in Germany, documenting the brutal reality of the front lines during the height of the war. Despite the rationing of 1942, a young woman works at an Esso gas pump in New York City, demonstrating the vital role women played on the home front during the peak of the conflict. Standing on the dusty Taurus Littrow lunar surface, Eugene Cernan begins his first mission outside the craft on December 11, 1972, marking the final time mankind would walk upon the moon during the century. The intense weight of the 1973 Yom Kippur War is felt in this powerful moment, capturing the exhaustion and determination of soldiers fighting through a conflict that would reshape the modern history of Israel. This July 1967 excerpt from the Black Panther newspaper serves as a raw historical record of the era's social activism, capturing the urgent voices and political demands of a community fighting for justice. In the chaotic aftermath of 1945, thousands of German civilians were forced into a massive expulsion from Eastern Europe, reflecting the immense human displacement and suffering that followed the conclusion of the Second World War. On that tragic morning of September 11, 2001, FDNY firefighter Tim Duffy raced his motorcycle toward Ground Zero, showing incredible bravery as he rushed to join his brothers in the face of unimaginable danger. On a bright April day in 1934, President Franklin D. Roosevelt continues a beloved American tradition by throwing out the first pitch during an exciting baseball matchup between the Senators and the White Sox. In Flint, Michigan, factory workers gathered on February 3, 1942, to witness the very last Buick being built before the entire automotive industry shifted its focus toward supporting the massive Allied war effort. Pedaling through the landscape of Zeeland in 1946, a farmer's wife balances milk buckets on a heavy yoke, showcasing the remarkable resilience and hard work required to rebuild rural life after the Great War. Life in the 1910s wasn't always serious, as seen in this charming moment where a father and son share a laugh while taking silly photos, proving that family bonds and humor are truly timeless. Through the lens of 1937, we witness the quiet connection between a father and his son, capturing a simple moment of daily life that reflects the enduring strength found within family during difficult times. In 1965, Fidel Castro shares a tender moment with Aleida Guevara in Cuba, showing a softer side of the revolutionary leader as he interacts with the young daughter of his close comrade Che. London, 1880, along the River Thames, a mother and daughter watch a tall ship glide. The past their quiet observation reflects an age of sail nearing its end as tradition slowly yields to steam and industrial progress. New York City, 1945, Rose Claire Leonard peers into a department store window, witnessing television's first public demonstration after the war. The tiny flickering image hints at a future where screens would reshape entertainment, news, and everyday life. England, 1935. Sir Malcolm Campbell poses beside the Bluebird, its massive engine promising unheard-of speed. This machine soon shattered records, proving that human ambition and engineering could push past the once unimaginable barrier of 300 miles per hour. United States 1955 shoppers stroll grocery aisles dressed in pressed suits and polished dresses. Even routine errands carried formality, reflecting post-war optimism and a culture that treated public appearance as a point of pride. Japan, 1936. Emperor Hirohito inspects a massive sound detection device, an early attempt to hear approaching aircraft. The photograph captures a nation balancing tradition and technology as it prepared for a rapidly changing, increasingly militarized world. Western Front, 1917, a German officer and NCO operate bulky sound-detecting equipment, straining to locate enemy planes before radar warfare relied on patience physics and human hearing to anticipate danger from the skies. San Francisco, 1933 workers cling to steel as the Golden Gate Bridge rises above turbulent water. The construction embodies depression. Era resolve, proving that even in hardship, monumental visions could still be forged from labor and steel. France, 1927, the Bugatti type 41 Royale Coupe. Napoleon waits with its chauffeur nearby, radiating extravagance built for royalty. The car symbolizes an era when engineering excess and aristocratic luxury briefly shared the open road. California, 1942. 19-year-old Lydia Martinez operates a colossal hydropress shaping aircraft parts with immense force. Her presence reflects wartime necessity as young women stepped into industrial roles once reserved almost exclusively for men. Hollywood, 1942. Ava Gardner poses simply for an MGM employment questionnaire, unaware of her future stardom. The photograph freezes a turning point, capturing a young woman just before studio lights transformed her into a lasting screen icon.